already the final talk of the electric session. And we're coming now to design the ultimate experience. Martina is on stage with me, and we welcome Enrico Moccia. He is head of UX UI mobility designer at Pininfarina. Welcome. So just to give you a little background also about Pininfarina, it was founded in 1930 and has evolved from an artisan concern to an international service group. Today, the company is the supreme expression of automotive styling and engineering, and an established reality in experience design, transportation, industrial design, architecture, interiors, and nautical. And Enrico is currently heading the human-machine interface mobility team at Pininfarina, focusing on UX and interaction design for physical and digital solutions. Welcome. I'm really happy to have you both on stage and now have a deep dive into the topic of design.
Thank you.
So, Martina, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit more about how is design defined in these days, and what does good design mean to you?
Mm-hmm. Yes. I think it's not new. I think we already have it on our designer genes now for decades. It's the sustainability topic. Mm-hmm. I think it's before you start to design anything, you think about how can you contribute and what do you need, what kind of resources do you need to design something. Then, of course, from my side, the things we create, if it's cars, if it's products, if it's services, they need to have quality, mm-hmm. and they need to have beauty. Because I really think that things you want to have and you want to deal with needs to have a deep quality, sometimes mm-hmm. craftsmanship. And I think when these three things are coming together, we can really create good things. But this sustainability topic, I think at the moment we see that we have this lack of resources mm-hmm. worldwide. And so I think this is the first we are thinking about.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
for you, what does good design mean to you? Like, what are the key essential points?
Yeah, so we always try to think about design starting from the user. So we always try to put the voice of the customer, of the user, mm-hmm. at the center of the project. Yeah. Because in Pininfarina, and I'm a strong believer of human-centered design mm-hmm. approach. So I think that good design means finding really nice solutions to everyday problems in a very effortless way for the final user. So this is something that for me means, at the end of the day, good design. Mm-hmm. How can you do that? It's kind of, it's a process. You have to involve users since the beginning of the project. You have to involve the clients since the beginning mm-hmm. of the project, and to talk with them, to involve them, to get insights and feedback during the process itself, in order to improve and to have then a really good design results and good mm-hmm. design products. So this for me means having good design.
Mm-hmm. And how is design driving the development of sustainable mobility systems? Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that.
So we are in a really interesting area mm-hmm. where we have sustainability that is taken as a big topic. But for me, sustainability, when we talk about sustainability related to the automotive world, we see that all the OEMs are pushing towards the electric, no? Mm-hmm. And maybe it's one way to go towards a more sustainable world in order to have less CO2 emissions and so on. But maybe there are many other ways to have more sustainable solutions. Because the entire world system has to be thought as sustainable mm-hmm. since the beginning of the project till the end of it. So how can we dispose all the materials that we have into the vehicles? How can we repair? How can we manage all the single components? So it's not just going electric, but it's the whole system that has to be thought as sustainable. And also thinking about materials. Mm-hmm. These are a really important role in the sustainability topic.
Yeah, and as we all know, there's a great change happening right now in the mobility industry. And as we all know, modes of transport become increasingly shared, connected, and autonomous. And the experience of drivers and passengers will be transformed as well. And as a result, user experience will become more and more important. So also to you, Enrico, what's the role of UX in the automotive and mobility industry nowadays?
So nowadays, again, we are in a phase in which we have autonomous driving features in the car. So the vehicles are still driven by a driver, but at the same time, we have occupants that needs, in a sort of way, content. They need connectivity. They need entertainment. And so we have, from one side, all the devices that can support this into the car, because we have a lot of displays, a lot of possibilities, and so on. But we have to think about safety, because still the vehicle is driven. But as soon as we will go towards the autonomous driving, we will have much more opportunities in entertaining also the driver itself, and not only the other occupants of the vehicle. So yeah, it's really interesting for Pininfarina, for all the players into this field, I would say.
And Martina, from your perspective, will UX become the biggest competitive differentiator for car makers and mobility service providers?
I think there are different topics or for differentiate cars, but I think to be connected is a very huge topic. And I think the connectivity you have with your car and to the world outside, it's very necessary also to other cars. And I think we have a lot of, when you see cars today, you have so many electronic things in this. It's completely, yeah, you have a lot of more possibilities. I think next to that we have this electrification. Yeah. And as you mentioned, perhaps other ways to drive. I think it's always, we don't have only the one solution, but I think electrified cars, it's a given. It's something we will all do, and I think it's also the right solution. But then it's also about this autonomous driving. What will happen then? What is needed then? And you spoke about safety, and so how have you a secure feeling? What does it mean? Now I have eyes on the road and hand on the wheels, but then what will happen and how will I feel with it? I think we also have to look very deeply how people feel when they interact with the car. So there are different possibilities how you do it. It's by if you touch something, if you say something, or so by voice. And so it's always a question to think in these different scenarios. But I think the car today has much more possibilities, opportunities. And when we come to autonomous driving and we work in the car and we do other things, it's more, we have these blurred boundaries about what is mobility, where are we living, where are we working, and then all the changes we also have with the pandemic. So I think it's a big chance for us.
That's true. And if we now talk a little bit deeper about the topic of HMI, like driver vehicles interface and interactions, where are we currently, Enrico, and what are current trends?
So again, we are still in a phase in which most of the activities that we do as drivers in the car is to drive our vehicle. So we are in a certain point in which we have to interact with the vehicle, but the vehicle is already interacting a lot with us. So it's not only HMI, but maybe is MHI, so machine-human interface and interaction. So we have a lot of things that has to be digested for us as drivers, occupants in general by the car. And so this is really interesting moment in which we have to convey really like frictionless and really accessible information to all the people that are inside our vehicles. And personalization is another topic because people want to have, as with our devices, something that is completely seamlessly integrated and personalized. So these are all the things that we use every day. And as we see here at IFA, we have new newcomers in the world of automotive that are here in order to show their vehicles. There are not probably vehicle as we were perceived vehicle some years ago, but more like devices on wheels. So these are really nice topics that are really fundamentally really crucial at the moment, I would say.
That's true. And Martina, what are the biggest challenges in mobility and user experience we are facing right now?
Yes, I think, like Enrico also already mentioned, is about what are we doing in the car, what is needed. Is it really us who say the machine what we want, or what is the machine is saying to us? So, and all this artificial intelligence was coming up more and more. So, I think it's always the question how we use this in a very intelligent way. And yes, at the moment it's really a lot about touch and voice. And now everybody read in the newspaper what's going on with AR glasses. So we are always stepping forward with new technologies, and then we have a new space, a new playground in a positive way. To find a better solution. So today we think, oh, this is the right solution, but then it's coming up a new technology, and we can take this and perhaps combine this with things we already have. I think what's important that we always make it that it's good for the passenger or for the user, for the customer. And what I already mentioned, that we think about what is the impact for our world.
Do you want anything to add? What are the biggest challenges?
I think there are many challenges at the moment in terms of experience while we have to charge our vehicles. I think this is quite a big topic, because we have at the moment the possibility to use electric vehicles, but the experience in general, not talking about the inner experience in the vehicle, but the experience with the charging network, the range of anxiety, the long time needed in order to charge my vehicle is something that is not, let's say, perfect at the moment. And so in Pininfarina we are working a lot on big, together with big clients on this field in order to envision solutions that in few years will have really nice experiences also about this point. So not in terms of interacting with the vehicle, but also when I have to charge my vehicle, because now it's really a pain point, I would say, for our users.
Yeah, and that's also why some people don't buy an electric car yet, because they're afraid of that. And so it's a really important topic. And if we now talk about the future, so what is the future of HMI? What are new ways we will interact with vehicles in the future? And is there a next big revolution coming up?
I think that autonomous driving will lead this in a sort of way. So we will have new ways of interacting in the vehicle, because there will be no need to drive anymore. By the way, the complete autonomous driving will be reached only when all the vehicles will be really autonomous. Otherwise, we have to be always aware of what's happening around, no? Like the black sheep effect, I will call it. But yeah, I hope that autonomous driving will give the opportunity to people to interact within each other again, especially in a vehicle that now they are usually all facing towards the in front. But when autonomous driving will come, maybe there will be also a new layout, a new disposition of people inside the vehicle, and maybe this will open a new wave of interaction.
Because it will look like more like a mobile living room. You can do whatever you like to do when driving autonomously. So yeah, it would change a lot.
Change a lot, yeah.
And something to add from your side, Martina?
I will be one of the first to have an autonomous driving car. I would really love to have it, because I think it's really something where you have the possibility to use your time for things at the moment where you're standing, especially when you're coming from a city like Munich, and we have so much time sitting in the traffic jam, and it's stressful. And I think if everything is solved, this has to be solved, and if it's secure, I think then it's a really good chance. And then it's also about how we use the vehicles, because today I think we use it only 3% a day. I think it's not even, perhaps it's an hour, something like
23
this.
23 hours, it's parking.
Yes, and so only 1 hour driving, so in the average. And so I think we use a lot of resources, but we don't use really the product we created. And so there could be also intelligent solutions for the future as well, how we do this and how we solve this. Yes.
And we are now living in 2022, and 2030 is not far away. So, Martina, what will the future mobility look like for you in 2030, which is not far away at all?
Yes, like you mentioned, it's not far away.
Yeah.
So the question is how much changes till 2030 or how much changes then till 2040. But I think what's changing is at the moment is this attitude, how we build cars or how we build products, and that we have to come to this circular economy. I think it's one of the main topics. How would it look like? What I mentioned in my speech, that the big cities will grow very rapidly. Yep. And the population on our planet will grow rapidly. And therefore, we have to find solutions and find scenarios. And I think what is needed, a very open-minded community, open-minded design community and citizens to think about how we can create this for the citizens in the city. And therefore, I think we need to build up these scenarios, and we have to try something. We really have. I think there are good examples, like in Rotterdam or other cities, where they really say, "Okay, let's to rethink how we use space in a better way."
Yeah.
And we should be really brave and not have this anxious mind in ourselves, because we have to. A lot is changing, and we have to work in it, and we have to put so much power in it to make this change happen.
My mantra at the moment is stay strong and stay agile. Yeah. It's always because I think you have to be very resilient and to what's happening, but you also have to be thinking agile and flexible. And then I think it's an attitude where we can go forward. That's
true. And let's come a little bit back to the user experience. And what will key success factors in UX be? Enrico?
Yeah, I will, let's say, come back to one of the first points. So, bringing the voice of the customer. So, for me, the success factors are really accessibility, having really intuitive solutions, and memorable experiences. So, these are the 3 points that I think will make a difference when user will interact with UX solutions. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you both so much. Do you want to add anything, Martina, or because we are nearly coming to the end already of our design panel, which was really interesting?
Yes, I think we spoke about all the really important topics, and I think the chance, well, because we are coming from design, it's about that design has really the chance to give an impact. And I think not only for design studios, I think design is also very important to consult companies, because they're coming with this fresh eyes from outside and are not anxious. And I think always, use it in your company, and then you have really a chance to develop something to the better.
Thank you, Enrico and Martina. It was a great pleasure to have you here on stage, and we hope that we inspired, informed, and empowered you. And thank you for part of all participants of my electric sessions, and thank you, Shiv, for giving us this opportunity to be here on stage today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.